This is a review of the Makita KP0800 corded planer kit. It's the K model, which all that denotes is it's got the case that comes with it. It's a nice blow molded case. It's got accessory storage for your rabbiting guide, your edge setting guide, so you can sharpen your blades without cutting your fingers open. And then it's got the wrench for removing the blades as well. Those all walk in. Great case, really sturdy. Really positive retention of everything. So for the planer itself, it's a 6.5 amp planer with a 3 1/4 inch cutting width and a 3/32 inch max cut depth. It's got adjustments from 0 to 3/32 in 1/256 of an inch increments. So that's a really fine resolution. And I've actually tested this with 1/32, 1/16, and 3/32 with a pair of calipers on the workpiece I was doing, and it's accurate as far as my calipers are accurate. So I think they're accurate up to the thousandth. So I can't tell with the 1/256. It's getting a little bit iffy on whether or not I'm actually measuring things right. So I'm trusting Makita did a good job for setting up the resolution for those. It seems to be doing a good job of being really, really accurate. One weird thing about the adjustment dial is you can actually turn it past its maximum setting. So you can crank it all the way up to 1/8 of an inch, and I checked, and the bottom sole, the two planes, the in-feed and out-feed plane, they actually do adjust as you keep turning that lever, or the knob. So my first thought was, oh great, I can push this past its design limit and take deeper cuts. Well, I tried that on the edge of a 2x4 and found out it was really bogging down when I tried to do 1/8 of an inch. So that's only a 32nd past design spec. So you can do more than the actual specifications are, but it's going to bog down a lot and you're going to see poor performance. So I'd stick within the 3/32 max cut depth. The in-feed and out-feed planes, the feet are very coplanar, they're very well machined, they're smooth, you don't have them catching on anything. It's got a kickstand in the back right here to keep it up off the surface when you set it down, so you're not going to be nicking anything with the knives. The belt right here can manually spin the blades so you can access them when you change them out. Whenever I'm done planing, I always like to use it to set it so none of the blades are exposed, so I'm not going to actually slice my hand open. The big downside on this is dust collection. They do have the dust extractor nozzle right here, which is very good at expelling chips. However, it expels them all over my garage, all over the workshop, and unless you have a dust bag for it, which doesn't come with the kit, it's a kit model, you'd think it would, you're going to have just a mess everywhere. So do your planing outside or do it on a job site that you don't have to clean up on yourself. I can see why they didn't include a dust bag, because one pass over a 2x4 would probably fill it up, but I would have liked to see a dust extractor nozzle. Makita does sell one, however it's targeted at the European market. I think it's a 37mm adapter, and it just pops off of this little extractor shroud and you screw the new one on. So if you're in the US and you're using a 1 7/8 inch hose or a 2.5 inch hose, you're going to have to buy another adapter for their adapter that already doesn't come with the kit. So I would have liked to see this come with a round dust collector adapter, and maybe I just have to go buy a step down one for my American dust collection system. So that's the one big downside on this. The other one is the rabbiting guide is not bevel adjustable, so it's straight, just you can keep a good width control on it, but you can't adjust the angle. This does have a chamfering guide right here, but it's stuck at 45 degrees, so your options are pretty limited on that as well. So what I would have liked to see is an edge guide that has bevel capabilities. So those are the only two real downsides I can think of to this planer. The trigger lock on it is really good. It's actually really easy to engage. I find myself engaging it by accident. You got to pull the trigger in and then push this and then let go of the trigger and it's locked on. I'm always very careful with where my hands are and where my body is in relation to a tool, so it's not as big of a deal if I finish up and let go of the trigger and oh, it's still running. It might be if you're a little more careless or prone to accidents. So just remember, good tool safety, always keep it, not pointed towards your body. So enough talk, let's go ahead and see how this thing runs. I'll get lots more wood chips all over my workbench here. So it's set to 330 seconds right now. This is max cut depth. And I'll go ahead and do a 45-degree chamfer. We'll see how it does over this hole in the scrap wood that I have. Alright, so you can see this thing didn't really bog down at all when I'm using it in its design spec. It chews right through the wood, and it's a very nice, smooth surface. Now I am working with freshly sharpened blades, so you're going to see a better surface out of this before your blades get dull. But I planed over a knot right here in this pine, and it's still glassy smooth. I'm getting almost as good of a surface out of this as I am with my 179 cut per inch thickness planer. So it's got great performance, no tear out, good sharp blades on it. Now, one thing I didn't cover is the installation of the edge guide. It just pops right out of the case right here, and it's unplugged. Okay. So it's got this front adjustment set screw right here. You just unscrew that a little bit, slide this in there, set it to the depth you want, and screw it down. And it'll do a great job of riding that edge and keeping your planer right on track. The depth limiter on this is this little piece of plastic over here. That's about as deep as you can go for a cut depth on your rabbiting or shiplapping. And one thing is, it's a little bit hard to set this down when you do have the edge guide in, so just keep that in mind. But overall, this is a good tool. It's got great ergonomics. I think it's 5.7 pounds. It's really easy to use. Just the big downsides to it are the dust collection right here, and this is a fixed edge guide. It doesn't have any bevel adjustment. So all in all, good tool. It'll get the job done on your work site.